actually an international.
So when did you realize this?
Actually, since 2018. And those were part of this.
Great news in Liberia. Listen to the news.
That's important to do. Of course, I don't want it. That is important to do something. But when I got the opportunity to serve my country, I thought I took this as a priority because I'm a woman with a big heart.
Wow.
With very big dreams. And I really feel that one day my country could become a fishing nation. Well, a major source of revenue will be coming from the fishing industry.
It seems we need to place a lot of emphasis, or we need to flex our muscle and focus on fishery a little bit, because as we're explaining, at some point in time, I thought we were better than Ghana for some reasons, except that these kinds of survey will re-establish our position, because I'm here doing a research on Ghana, for example. Just in 2020, the fishery sector in Ghana alone contributed 1.6 billion Ghana cedis to their economy, which is $263 million. So if we have all these value species and the cucumber and all these things you're talking about, and we can focus our attention on fishery, talk to our partners, and we have the requisite infrastructure, I'm telling you, fishery alone could be half of our entire GDP.
I'm telling you. I can't, like, listen, a dream is just too big. I don't know how to continue. Like, it's just too much. There's so much we can do with this sector. There is so much. And this is why, you see, we have deemed it necessary to establish a department of fisheries and aquaculture science to give BSc in it, because fishing goes beyond catching fish by kilo. And before you come in, let me, because I'm a sector here. I'm a sector here. Let me get a sector here. I need to tell you. I want to say something. Another reason why we cannot overemphasize the importance of building resource capacity is because this sector, as I've told you, is governed by international treaties, laws, protocols, and best practices in order to harness and maximize the potential in the sector. Or else, it will remain just the way it has been, characterized by canoe fishing that does not have the capacity to supply our local market. Even with bucket of fish. If you have a fish, they're not able to supply it. So in order to industrialize the sector, to get the real potential of the sector, these are the steps. We have to build capacity.
I think I visited West Point area, and a friend of mine called Money Fish. They are into this local fishing activities. And just for a few hours I spent around the West Point area. And it's a whole thing that no one goes at the fishing side and go back home hungry. You will get something. And if you go there, that's just it. Everyone else is taking something back home. The fishing sector is where you go and you never get hungry. And I think that's something that we need to tap into. But again, the last time we spoke with you, especially some of the challenges that you were facing at the time, we see you speaking with great excitement now. Now you're meeting with international compliance. And today I'm here to hear from you about this unregulated, ungovernance issues that has evolved around our fisheries sector, which we inherited, and for which the European Union and so forth, they had initially issued yellow cards and so forth, all those things. So I would like specifically for you to speak to that, and as to where we are and whether this program, this survey that you talk about could be a major boost to meeting up with some of these international compliance to have some of these sanctions.
You know why I admire you? Because you are a very knowledgeable young man and you have retentive memory. And I would like to tell my people that we are close to, in the soonest possible time. I could say a couple of days, weeks, months to lift the yellow card. We are so close to lifting the yellow card. I'm even optimistic it will be next month I will lift the yellow card. Because we've been working so hard with the European Union to lift this yellow card. And it will even be a bigger boost to the fishing sector. That means we'll be able to start applying to have access to the market. Because All the fish that is sold, that's caught in our harvested in our waters, they're not having access to their markets. No. That what makes our sector unattractive.
Just for the qualities of fish that we're talking about, it doesn't matter.
That's why I said it's a complex industry, and it's governed by international rules and protocols. Because of those cards, how do they call it there? They can call it there, no, they can say it's a sanction, but they will say notification. So until it becomes a red card, it becomes a sanction. But I still see it as something.
So are we a trading partner? Because normally those sanctions are raised against countries that are potential trading partners because they believe that you are very essential towards the fish market.
Exactly. So those sanctions, okay, I inherited a yellow card from the previous administration because they went and they didn't conduct due diligence on a particular ship, and they registered a ship that was blacklisted by the whole world, that this ship is known for international crime, and they went ahead and licensed the ship. And immediately they licensed the ship. Although we revoked the license immediately, but then they gave us the yellow card and said we do not have very strong regulatory framework. And so international fishing illegally is a crime. You won't know how much is a crime because if you picture illegal fishing as canoe fishing, then you will say that people are not talking seriously. But when you look at the industrial part of it, wherein you make millions from stealing fish in one's country, you will know that it is a huge crime. In other countries, I think like Philippines or other countries, they blast the vessel. I've forgotten the country when I was doing my research. If I want to, they catch you fishing, I will look for that country and tell you.
Carol will do research.
Yeah, we need to look for it. I think it's in my thesis. I wrote a thesis on Liberia, and I think I referenced it. So it's in my thesis. I wrote a thesis on the fishing sector in Liberia for my graduate studies. And I think doing my research, I saw there was a country that once you steal, our law said we'll fine you 1 million or more, depending on the gravity of the fine. So the fines in industrial fishing start from $1 million US. It shows the value of what it is in fishing. Especially, for example, coming into our artisanal zone where our local fishermen can fish in. That 1 million. Because you go there, you will break I tell you that the fishing is massive fishing. You're able to scoop that whole area, and for 4 or 5 years, the people you deplete the stocks, the people that be able to fish. And that's a whole livelihood system that will be affected. So in our country, if we kept you there, and the Coast Guard kept you there, you're going to pay 1 million or more for coming in that zone to fish in that zone. So it was because of weak compliance issues, weak regulatory issues that made us to get that notification from the European Union. And then when we got it, there were no joking reforms we did. We did a lot of reforms. Legal reforms, institutional reforms, structural reforms. We've done a lot of reforms, and this is why you see people are referencing international, people are referencing the fisheries sector of Liberia, because we work closely with the European Union, we work closely with the World Bank, we work closely with other development partners to develop all of those reforms so that once we open our fisheries sector to encourage international investment, they can be rest assured that we will be in full compliance of international laws and protocols.
I'm concerned about the conclusion of the survey, because in this entire conversation it seems that what the survey is going to determine the prospects, for instance, the quantity of a different fish species we have in our waters, and the commercial value to us well. When is the survey going to kickstart? When is it going to end? And how long does it take, for an outcome that is going to inform investors to be able to fish in our waters? And I'm also concerned about the fishing piers you talked about some months back that should be established in Montserrat. in other fishing counties too as well.
Can I answer?
Go ahead. Yeah. I think you were talking about Indonesia.
Yes.
Yeah, you were talking about Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Yeah.
Thank
They were
God.
doing that to protect their marine sovereignty.
So smart people in here. So gurus.
That's why you
So
brought
you
it.
see, in Indonesia, they blast as soon as they catch you, they will bust the whole ship. They blast it and burn it. The whole ship, that's how grave it is an international crime. Although the international,
For anyone,
yeah, you see, Indonesia blows up 23 foreign fishing vessels is to send a strong message. They said you want 1 million, you want 2 million, you want 5 million, you want 20 million. They catch you in the water, they blast your whole ship up. Okay, so going back to what you were saying, you asked me on the issue of the survey. The survey is going to spend the first survey with the Moroccan government for 1 month. You should be laughing. Because all the surveys are 3 days and 2 days are being
I never asked that question. That's enough
there
time.
will be 1 month surveying your whole 200 nautical miles and 570 kilometers of coastline. We are the second longest coastline to Nigeria in the sub-region. Nigeria has 690 and Liberia has 579. So they will be doing it for 1 entire month in our waters. I'm so excited.
And then with some personnel of NAFA.
Exactly, with our experts. That is it. And as for the port construction, I'm also glad to inform you that we are very optimistic that by September we will start the dredging and we would have signed a contract with our company that will come into construction. And I'm sure that before 2024, 2025,
Great
I think it will
news.
take like 3 years to build the port.
Great
We
news.
will have given a contract by the end of this year. Dredging will commence this year.
Wow.
We've already a step ahead. We've given our company already. An Indian company that is in Liberia right now. And they are conducting environmental social impact assessment. It's called the ESIA. They were also granted permits by the EPA.
Great news for Liberia.
Minister Tape or Director Tape, that he has been coordinating very well with us to grant them access. They're working with a local firm as per our law, and they are currently conducting a study. So the study it comprises of the bathymetric study. It does do the ocean currents, the sedimentation, the whatever seabed. Because in building a port, we have to dry a particular area of the sea. So it is a prolongation of land towards the sea. So most areas, when they are building ports, they dry part of the sea. So they have to conduct that study to be able to inform the design of the port based on our geographical location or whatever.
Great news for Liberia.
So that study has been on for almost 8 months, and they are rounding up the preliminary design for our port. So very soon we'll have a company that will give us the beautiful design of our port, and we'll make the biggest billboard in Liberia to put the blueprint of how our future fishing port will look like. And is there he who laugh the best. We're in competition with ports like Ghana, Ivory Coast, Mauritania, Senegal, and we most likely expect that our port will be better than their own industrial port.
Amen.
Vessels around here to land. I'm sure we can be a hub within the sub-region because our proximity. We are bordering all these states, so we could use that port as an access for all other fishing vessels to land in our.
Can you give us an idea, a picture of what we're talking about, the fishing port?
Like an idea?
They just give us a concept in a layman, and then you can just
what is it like? Because
understand.
is this an equivalent of a regular port? Or what is the difference from this?
It's like the free port of Monrovia. But it comes with processing facility. It's just that it's a designated area only for uploading fish products. So as per international laws, so you cannot upload the fish product where you do oil, gas, and cement and other things.
Wow.
So it will be it will be like Freeport, but in a more fashionable, modernized, sophisticated form.
Wow.
Systems will be there too as well. Like
So what informs the decision of the port is actually the depth. Some of the depth of the port. So this port design will be 9 meters depth. That means they can take vessels of over 500 gross tonnage. Over 5. So the port design is supposed to take vessels between 500 to 2,000 gross tonnage. Between 500 to 2,000 gross tonnage. So that means the port you can get 4 vessels will be able to offload at once at this new fishing port. That means 4 people says that ERBC in Liberia can be able to be. That is how is how they can call it. So it's southwest of the Monserrato Bay, goes way down. So that's how we are building a gigantic port. So I mean, from the little figures I remember, that's what I know, that the depth is going to be 9 meters depth. I think our current port is about 5 meters depth or 6 meters depth.
it's also going to be a place where
The depth means that, you know, oh my God.
You want to do some teaching?
Yes.
Some demonstrations.
Oh God, I don't know how to start that. But
the size of what building? Maybe you want to compare.
yeah, so that means in a ship, the ship that you see up, I don't want to say for the general audience, the one that you see up, the one that inside the water,
To the central bank building.
is almost the same size with the one that you just see on the surface. They drop the depth of the port. So if right now you cannot have it there because there are too many sand, and so if it goes there, then you not hear about ship breaching. So that's another person in that other sector, that's a maritime engineer. The one in maritime, like Roger Tier, likes of Roger Tier, some other maritime experts that are in the maritime authority. Those are the engineers, so they will tell you about the specification of a ship, what size again, all those type of different things. I just read ocean governance and fisheries management. So I can tell you about the legal regime of the sea and all of those things. But in terms of maritime engineering, so you got other people to speak.
Let's move on to some other important issues.
But we need to clarify that it's the depth of the port that that can tell you the importance of the port. And tell you the size of vessel it can berth. So as far as we're concerned, for the latest designs of this port that we wish to get, the latest modern vessel, the biggest ship in this world, will be able to berth at this port.
Sounds
because
very
we are
good.
having
Really?
yes, the biggest ship in this world, the current biggest ship, will be able, because we are digging like 9 meters deep. That is where it'll be. You know, they can do the railway, they say underground railway, and the building it way down in the sea. That is how the port is going, way down in the sea. So that means that the weight of that vessel, when that vessel is coming, that vessel will not be able to breach, because once you have too much sediment and you have not cleared all the debris and all of those things under that place, the vessel can get stuck and it can even sink. It can because of the too much sand, it will not be able to move. So you have to dig that in. So there will be doing possible land reclamation. You know what land reclamation is? The sediments that will be taken from the area that will build that place, it can make a new island. Because we'll have to take a whole lot. That is where the dredging component will come in. To dry that whole area. So maybe we'll be drying like, I don't know, 50 meters in the sea, 20 meters in the sea, 30 meters in the sea. I don't know what the engineering details will be. But all the things that we'll take from in the sea, all the land and ships, they not have sunk, all these wrecks, all these old things they're not in the sea, they will have to
remove
dredge it. So the sand and everything that will come from that thing can make another island. So we have identified a place that will be dumping all those things when after they study, the next thing will be the dredging. because you got to clear that place for the people to come and do the proper construction. And it's actually coastal engineering. That means you have to start building within the sea structure. So it is a big thing.
I think we need to talk about the fishery degree granting program. Emma is in a teaching mood.
Clarence, before you go there,
I
Madam
just had 2 hours night on there.
We're not transitioning.
Madam Glasgow, you've signed other agreements like what you did with Ivory Coast, Ghana, recently in Senegal. You want to tell us about the benefit Liberia has with all of the agreements you've signed?
Yes. So, like I said, we are giving access to about 40 tuna vessels, and that particular fisheries is managed under the International Commission on the Conservation of Atlantic Tuna. Liberia is a contracting member to that regional fisheries organization. And so we gave fish access agreement. We signed fish access agreement with other foreign vessels, and they have to land at other ports. And Liberia don't have ports for those vessels to land. That's why I keep on telling you, look, like we're not doing nothing in fishing here, because the infrastructure, the lack of data has undermined the sector. And these are things that this government is trying to address. So we are signing come here, or the fishing ships that come here, for us, they can offload in those areas where they have the ports, and they can allow our inspectors to go there and perform the compliance and duties. Or else, if you don't sign these corporations, to send our people there. So every time the ship offload.
Great news for Liberia, guys. Thanks for watching.
Is it costly?
Very costly. Every time. That's why we have fisheries inspectors that are trained.